for chat is on. I don't see the option via the phone of them or this phone for the day. I didn't see many options to put emojis or whatever either. But I did see the one I was looking for. I just had to type the one word again. But the other thing I was thinking, I didn't notice if it said to show live chat afterwards. I only ever see that on the computer, and I could have done this on the computer, but I do have the charger handy to me if I need it. And I guess one of the reasons was because I wanted to select emojis, and I don't think I could have done that, like little icons, You know what emojis is, but I don't mean memes or GIFs. Actually, I don't know the difference between memes and GIFs. What is it? Anywho, which I must remember though. I don't want to tire my voice out too much right now, but I must remember to add to put thankful for the gift. Thankful for the gifts. If I don't GIFTS, if I get the thing. If I don't remember that in the title later. I'm gonna wait till there's some people here. I know that there's always gonna be people that see afterwards, but I just want at least one person at the top before I say too much, because it's gonna be a bit of a maybe a bit more of a verbal day today. Anyway, I might only do the 2 on here today, but that being said, still. I'd rather have this one on if it helps. I don't know if it really does much, but just trying to get lighting good in this room without having the full-on light on. It was quite sweet, so I'm just going to check my coffee. I was just adding fresh to the pre-made, already made last night, and I'm just going to check and see if we need to add any more sugar or not. It was too sweet, especially near the bottom, especially for, and even though I stirred quite well, it does really still settle, especially for my sore throat. That's probably not a big idea. Still feels like it is, to be honest. So we got 2 of you here, so let's hop right into the topic. Welcome, by the way. Glad to have you here. Just started rolling. Just kind of getting my coffee happening for the morning. I don't like coffee. You've seen me before. I don't think I need it. I ran out of coffee. We'll be right back. Keep up. Keep up or catch up. Okay. Catch up or keep up. Woo! Anyway. It's going to be a good day, I'm pretty sure, and I'm hoping it will be the same for you. I'd like to talk about some of the stuff. Again, though, I think I am going to wait until somebody's here. It just makes sense, I feel. You know what I mean? More than just, perfect. So, hello everybody. So, I wanted to talk about something that I experienced this morning. Basically, okay, it looks like you look at the guy. And I can tell that the dog's going to be noisy. He hasn't been downstairs that long for the day because he's upstairs with us usually in the evening, when we're sleeping. And I'm going to be out today, very likely. So I don't want to put him there right now. But anyway, so topic. Here we go. So some of you may know, some of you may not know that. Okay, I keep the 1-0, and also the light keeps coming. I kind of am noticing it, but it bothers, Mom. Would you please? Okay, I'll give you something. I saw it on the counter. So, yeah, I'll do it. I think maybe it's extra sweet because of that Bailey stuff, which I don't use very often. And I wish that these were all consistent sizes. I really do. And that some of them didn't have the sharp edges. That was really nice and fun though. Do it, you caught it. So. Okay, and I thought that I had topped this off. I did, but it still didn't get over. Okay, so This morning, I woke up. I was thinking of a song that I almost covered recently, but I accidentally clicked something, and the tab. I think I closed the tab that I was doing it on because I was doing it on the computer, and so. But I mean, and I'm sorry. You know what? I'll just say, you can skip ahead. I'll try to remember the chapter if I can, but you can skip ahead. You know, any quiet spots. Yes. Remedy Thought. That's actually a good song too. Fireworks Remedy. Oh, there's so many. I could sing all afternoon. But I'm not really up to it with how I'm feeling. And two, I don't want to push it. You know, it's, again, not. Okay, I think it's important to understand that they may do this sometimes, but you know, they will hope that most people can make it during their usual time, and that's just not me. Make it during their usual time, and that's when they'd rather people do it. But yeah, that's not for the reasons that some of you may know that I've kind of alluded to, and even in the video update last night. Not likely. Coffee on my phone. At least it wasn't super hot. So it's early here. It's kind of windy and snowy at the moment, but I'll be in the car, so it's fine. I'm not usually, I don't super often have access to that option. So, where do I want to put this? I don't know. Where? Here? Sure. Okay, perfect. Just that you down. Just that down. Grab a beverage if you need to, and let's enjoy. So, okay. But you know what? But again, people could, their phones could be dying. I was gonna settle down and watch this and grab a beverage, and then my loved one interrupted me or whatever. And loved ones. If you saw what I was doing there, it's an example of some of these bottles are not designed very well, and in often cases in general, if you kind of get them open, you can get so much more out of those ones. So even though you get them usually for free at work, and like I say, where never will, but it's nice to have the nice to get as much out of them as we can, and not waste it. So sorry that it's taken me a bit of time to settle, but I am glad that I'm getting this done early, because I'll tell you why. If you'd like to know, I'll tell you why. What did I just do with that thing now? Oh, here. Okay. But because then I'll have a bit of time between things. So yeah, that's why it looks like I'm just kind of digging in the bottle weirdly. Okay, so some of you will know, some of you don't, that one of the things I've been through a lot. Hi, Squid. Good morning. Bright and early. Hungover at all? Just kidding. He was a little drunk last night. Just kidding. But it was a holiday. Anyway, you've seen me talk about this topic and this person actually a little bit We got said two for a moment there. Um, I can't go the other way. Okay. Well, that'd be interesting if we got some money from it. Um, so it's early here, but I'm trying to articulate as good as I can. Um, so some of you will know that in January I lost a good friend, uh, diabetes, and I still remember the day I found out. The day I found out, the evening I found out, it was somewhat surreal in a way. I have been getting into podcasting, live streaming. Call them the same thing. I do anyway. And probably for maybe 2 or 3 months by that point, getting back into it and, utilizing, having you let me stream as well. And Squid, are you still there, by the way, or is that someone else now at the top? Anyway, sorry. Also, I am a little bit under the weather, just so you know. Cool, cool. Anyway, so the night I found out, and it's interesting because when I think about it, when I think about this particular person who was a karaoke host, and it's a big, big role, but I could think of so many songs really, and there's a couple that I do think of, especially connected to that stand out, and then there's also well, I was reminded of the one that was mentioned in her obituary, and there was also another one that I remembered her singing because sometimes she would sing too. I mean, she sang often, but like on karaoke nights, sometimes she'd kind of after she let a few, she'd do one, and lots of people loved to sing with her too, and she was really great. And I wish that I could find some footage. Um, I'm sure other people have it. I I think a while ago, not long after it happened, that's one of the things that I did is I was looking at old videos that I posted, and a lot of them are me singing, sometimes with other people, sometimes not. Um, and one was her and sister, and one was her and her mother-in-law, who I've sort of alluded to. Anywho, so basically, but there was a song that I was gonna, like I said, I was gonna post. It didn't happen, and this morning I woke up. Are you still there? It doesn't say that. Now it says nobody's here, but sometimes that's wonky or inaccurate. Now it says one again. So anyway, this morning I woke up to that song kind of in my head, and it's been about 3 or 4 days since I was thinking about it. I kind of want to keep it a surprise for later today. I kind of do, but my goodness, and I've been a little bit sneezy and stuffed up, and depending on kind of how I was laying and this and that, and I was feeling actually not bad, but a routine, even though I could go back to bed if I wanted to right now, today, for now. It's kind of not that bright out yet either. I really did sleep quite well, and I think the symptoms that I am feeling a little bit, and just also I had the excitement running through my head about the plans later, and so basically, Squid, are you there? Or did you just dash off? So basically, I was feeling decent. Same with the nap last night. I was feeling decent, but I started to listen to this song, and I haven't heard it a ton. And he knows what it's like to go through certain things, and he also knows what it's like to be a performer, and to to sing songs you enjoy, and to just kind of how music works. But that may have been before that, because one time I tried to cover away with songs. But if it doesn't monetize it, doesn't monetize it. It's usually an additional menu I have to look for anyway to do it, and I often forget. It's more obvious on the computer. That's what it is. Anywho, yeah, well, dogs don't got that. I don't know what you do after. Um, Anywho, so that's a bit of lotion. um, so I was listening to this song, and I realized something kind of interesting. It's not because I am fairly strongly, or I'm not going to say fully, and I wouldn't think that most men could, to be quite honest. They might not be honest with themselves about that or others. And I'm not meaning to, point fingers and tell you who you are, but just going to tell you who you are, okay? No, just kidding. Or you can tell me. No, just kidding. Anyway, I'm not going to say that I don't have a bit of a feminine side. I'm just not going to say that because it's not true. But emotions and grief and that kind of stuff does not know a gender anyway. I only mention this connection for obvious reasons, I think, because a lot of people, especially of a certain age range, um, seem to think that, especially men. Um, I do feel like that's changing, and especially the younger generations, but they feel like they can't talk about, and especially with the social media too, they feel like they can't talk about their emotions or show their emotions. Um, but it's human. It's human. So it's not that I've not been letting myself do so. And even other loved ones that have passed away, it varies. I can't remember how instantly I cried when my dad passed away, for instance. I was 11. Um, and I don't think I cried at the funeral, from what I recall. And my brother gave a really, really lovely speech that he doesn't even really hugely remember. He just remembers speaking. But I mean, this is what, 20 something years later. He may have a rough idea, but maybe he didn't want to revisit it. I don't know. Because I'd asked a while back, what was it you said? Because I didn't remember, right? Anywho, but so basically, and I was asked if I wanted to speak too, but I was so young. And I think really what I really was in was shock. Um, I remember that it was like all the people that I loved in one place, friends. I don't remember Dean being there, but there must have been, Roger Murray. Um, Friends, family. I mean, it hadn't been as long at that point since we used to do family reunions. Like, I mean, families get together all the time, but like I think back in the, I'm not much older than this, but I think back in the 80s or 90s, um, people, it was looked at differently. It was looked at maybe like in a way where it's like on a certain day and a certain date. I mean, you always plan it anyway, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Like the difference between how some families get together now as opposed to, if in the 80s or the 90s when there used to be like family reunions. Like we used to do ours at, I believe it was called Starbuck Gardens in London, Ontario. And there was go-karts and volleyball and food, of course. And it was lovely. And I think that's where a couple of the very few pictures that I have of my dad actually were taken. That it was just a picnic. But no, I mean, all it was they lived with us. But no, there was two or three people I didn't recognize, although one may have been um, Jenny, Heather, and Jackie's mother. Anywho, so, um, but again, the other thing I'll say is I'm still human, even though I do feel their angelic presences with me. Like I couldn't do this at the place. I mean, it wouldn't have been necessarily that loud. The person I'm with, I want to, even though I'm getting a ride from them, I want to just visit with her. She may be a little bit judgy because she is older and she doesn't really use social media very much. And she might be kind of like, weirdest thing in your fridge. I don't know. Nothing much. That's weird, really. I don't eat weird stuff. So I'm just looking at the question example sticker, but also wanted to stay on topic. Well, I mean, I am kind of creative and adventurous, but not a lot so in that way. Anywho, so basically, and I think that so when she passed, it was like 2 hours later, maybe even an hour, and it surprises me when I think about it. To be honest, I came online, did a video, sang a few songs. She kind of worked in the music industry in her own unique way, and it was something very special that we've shared with each other. Um, and I that was an example, I think, where I mean, again, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for those kind of things to settle in, but I truly think that she maybe said, just go sing it out, just go sing, just go sing. I didn't hear it super clearly, but I think that may have occurred. Um, and basically, um, um, I kind of want to heat up this coffee a little bit. I haven't had that much of it yet. Anyway, you can just smell of it. I think I will. I think I will. Um, I'm trying to decide if I should put a photo. I might have to add it after as a thumbnail, but I'm trying to decide if I should put that later. By the way, uh, anyway, so I hadn't entirely realized, and it's one of those things. It's not because I didn't think it would make sense or I didn't think that I needed to. Uh, I don't think I really cried about my friend's passing. I went to some grief workshops. I mean, you can always learn uh, things, that might be helpful. But truth be told, like I've lost a lot of loved ones, and that's nothing hugely new for me. Um, and so it was really more, although I'm very thankful, like I say, even many of those connections, very thankful for the community on here and connections I have in general, which aren't as much as in my 20s, and I'm just a little past my 20s, but, they are. And anyway, so I'm just going to heat up my coffee a moment here, and I'm noticing, because I'm a little bit under the weather, talking, it's making my nose run a little bit, but I'll try not to be too gross about it. And we're all human, right? So we understand that too, right? So anywho, see we left. Okay, well, glad that we got the bots out of the way. Anywho, so I've had some very moving visits with her. Um, that honestly are more special and comfortable than it would have been to have visited her in the hospital. I think if I really think it that way. Not that that wouldn't have been something, even in a coma. But and I'm like Clark. I don't think I ever saw a picture. I had and I don't have experience in the dreams. I don't have dreams very often, really, to be honest. A lot alive, wake or sleeping. But I think that I saw her in a hospital bed not that long ago in a visual. But it was very brief. You know what? She looked a little thinner, and that was really still very pretty though. And she was a beautiful person inside and out. Um, and basically, and if I did want to just quickly share here, although I'm used to her having kind of my favorite color, just kidding. We don't have to talk about it, but more reddish hair. But yeah, So anywho, welcome both of you. So um, at the workshop, I mean, other people are, saying what they've went through and that too, and maybe I have, and I didn't really process it or internalize it. I do want to get some audio stuff happening in here soon. I think I must have turned that radio down. It wasn't super loud, but I don't hear it at all right now. So even though I'm talking, it's sometimes nice to hear something a little bit kind of behind my speaking as a bit of a variety or a bit of I'm not saying that I want to be edited or I'm fine with being organic and as is. A part of it's also that I have tonight is possibly from when I used to do karaoke so much, to be honest. So uh, because it's not constant and it's not, for lack of a different word, doesn't feel full enough, my voice at the moment. I am hearing my ears a little bit, so it's kind of annoying. But the dog's laying there in front of me nice. I know I could walk past him, but if I do, he'll get up and, he's finished just sticking. I don't want to put him up there. So I'm just going to power through and say a little bit more and then wrap up. And then I'm not sure. I don't really, well, but it might be talk as well. I don't know what I want to watch, but probably on here because even though there's other stuff open here, I'm not sure. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think that I've really cried that much for my friend. I don't think I have. Even I was, you know, all things considered, even though it was a funeral, and this isn't meant to be all doom and gloom. It's meant to be healing as well, and conversation even. Um, I know that she knows that I'm disappointed that I didn't get to do music at her funeral, um, because I think one person I was kind of familiar with played a couple songs on guitar and sang, and we couldn't see her very well from where we were sitting, and it may have been kind of the floor may have been a bit lower there or something. I seem to feel. I feel like one other person maybe sang, but considering how much music means a lot to a lot of us, but considering the industry that she worked in it, um, I was surprised that more didn't. And so it wasn't just me. But then again, I didn't see a lot of people that I knew from back then anyway, which was also kind of odd. But anyway, you know, yeah. Anyway, good. Okay, well, now that you got a nap, I almost want to put that on. But then you might jump down because you're not like solidly sleeping yet. So I'm just talking about the dog for a moment there. Okay, back to our topic. Sorry, it's early. I'm slightly under the weather. Let's do this. Welcome, welcome. Or not. Okay, I think it's pretty much a lot. I don't think that you meant to, though. I think he wanted to come and stay. He's seen a few of my videos. It was like a little bit goofy the other day, and there was people watching, which, but honestly, like I said, it was Thanksgiving. Maybe he was drunk, or maybe he was drunk anyway, whether he was celebrating it or not. And pretty sure it's a dude. And yeah, it's just yeah. So um, yeah, I don't remember. I know that her dad said something really nice. I was somewhat surprised that her sister didn't, because her sister was older than I was when I lost my dad. But that's not a judgment. That's not a judgment. Whether she sees this or not, it really isn't. Um, they were very, very close. So I think I will put that radio on. I hear my own voice. Right, they go, you must really love the sound of your voice. Yes and no. I don't want I don't want to get other ideas or anything too for songs because I think I'd like to do, if I can do a second one, I think it makes sense at this time of year. Gift to you, bud. I suddenly hear. Oh, that's nice. To do a Christmas one, but I'm thinking this other one too. So I don't want to tire my voice out too much, but I've got a few hours in between. So um, I know that there was a couple girls that spoke, women that spoke. Um, no, I can't find it. Just a moment. I'm just looking for something that I can't find. And I might have to get it from the other room. I had it here a moment ago. Uh, I don't want to get the dog off. He's like, "Oh, you're looking for something? You're looking for food by any chance? I'll help you find it." Okay, but I'm going out here. Yeah, sure. Okay. I have to make sure I have one of those with me today, though. Or I will. It almost ruined the. So, anyway, she was very shaky spoken. I couldn't actually tell whether she was crying or she had some sort of disability, or I don't want to pass judgments again, like I say, but possibly an addiction. I'm not sure. And I don't remember what she said either. It was just in the moment. I didn't note it down or anything, but it was very well said. They did something really nice where after, the planned speakers, some of the family members, they said, "Is there any of her friends that would like to say something?" And I know that she's forgiven me, and I've mostly forgiven myself that I didn't. Like four or five people kind of stepped up pretty quickly, um, and that. But like I say, all things considered, I was happy to have been able to go to it. I didn't go to a couple of her other celebrations that she had in the city because I either found out too late or couldn't get to it. Um, but so anyway, this song came to my mind this morning, and I was bawling, man, free balling. Oh no, that's something different. No filter. Uh, I didn't know it was that could mean but I'm a fan. Sorry. Oh gosh. And I tell her if I sing this song, I'll be strong. She's like, I know. You can be. You totally can be. I believe in you, buddy, kind of thing. Um, but yeah, and when that happened this morning, it was like, I don't know if I have let myself do this yet to this extent. So, but one important thing I do want to say is that, because I've heard other people say it too, when they lose a loved one, and this isn't going to be all about that, but, well, actually, it might, because it might not be that long. We'll see. When you lose a loved one, sometimes people say that they do struggle to allow themselves to cry. And that could be for various reasons. It could be because they're in denial. It could be because it just make it feel too real, and they don't want. Maybe other reasons. It also could be that their body is just their system is not letting them for whatever reason. I'm hesitant to possibly guess it could be um, about the body protecting itself, or sort of a. But I don't think that's why. Anyway, and I want you to just a mind of a couple things. Just because you don't cry when you're grieving doesn't mean you're not grieving. Two, um, um, that it's okay to do either. There was a third thing. Sorry, I was just listing three points, and this is maybe where it would be handy to be scripted, but usually I don't struggle too much with the delivery, and there's a couple reasons why I'm fine not why I almost prefer to not be scripted. Um, Nobody's watching, and you might be able to guess what they are, and we can leave it at that. Um, if it was just those two things. Oh, I think the other thing was one I've said sometimes recently since kind of learning it from the other side is that although they understand that, when you're grieving them or any loved ones or going through a hard time, you will feel emotions, whether it's in your own solitude or as you're going about your day. Um, and our angels won't judge us for that. And they do, like I say, they understand. But, there's a but. Um, what I've gathered from visits is that um, they do feel emotions. Just, I mean, as people, we do feel them to varying degrees as well, right? But they do, and it's pretty much. I don't want to say that their emotions are flat, but they're softer. That might be the way to put it. I don't want to get up there. Just sit down. So pardon me. They're softer. And that's it. I don't think this is telling me not to do it. She's like, no, it's going to tell you that even though maybe usually that would probably be a good choice, um, this is my gift for you and I want you to have it. And she's saying that your power through, you have some busy days coming up, but you will be able to rest and get better. And if she could deal with her sickness, she says, I don't want this to come across wrong, bud. But she says, you can sing with a bit of a cold. I mean, I'm not making you, but if it's something you really want to do, I'm happy to see you do it, and I'm supporting you from the other side in doing it. I'll be there for it. So, and she's actually saying now that she realizes that while I'm there, it might be a little bit awkward to, you know, be sensing her presence. So she says she might not make it obvious. Maybe in a couple little ways, but she won't make it obvious. She just wants me to have a good time with the person I'm going to be with, singing, and you're going to rock, bud. You're going to rock. Um, so, okay, I will do my best. I mostly agree. But, yeah, so they feel it. So they would rather feel happy along with you, as we all should. We should all want to feel happiness and joy and love with each other, and in the ways, uh, you know. Uh, so remember that when you're going through grief too, like realize that they understand and it's normal, and to let yourself feel, but at the same time, laugh at the good memories, smile, do things in their honor, and feel good doing them. Um, that kind of stuff. It makes them so happy. It would make them so happy. You are making them, your angels, your loved ones, happy, whether you believe in that kind of thing or not. You are, even if you don't feel it. And I felt like I needed to say that, not necessarily to anybody specific, but anybody that sees this. Remember to like and subscribe as well. I appreciate it. And I kind of think, like, I have a bit of time in between. I don't have anything super urgent I want to do in between, but I do have to gather myself up a little. I don't know. I didn't, and I don't know if we can even go in with a backpack, but hopefully, because yeah, nothing bad. It's like a few essentials I want to bring. Essentials, and I want to do some stuff on here, and maybe I'm not sure if I've decided what I'm going to have for lunch, so I might want to look into that a bit more. But the more I look, the more I might become indecisive. Right? So, but the more I look, the more I might get them. Um, I might even have to wear a mask unless I'm eating. You know, at this rate, I mean, I don't really want it on my face, but you know, and gross, whatever. But and it is a Friday, but I don't know my mother's weekend plans, and I really probably should be a little bit considerate. We'll see how I'm feeling. We'll see how I'm feeling. Then it seems to come and go. Like I said, I slept pretty decent. Uh, but I just want to. This is a bit of a longer one. I thought I was actually doing pretty good on keeping it shorter, getting a lot in there. But I'll just add one more point before I wrap up. I think, unless of course people come in and chat. Um, if I do the song that I'm going to do, or that I'm thinking of going to do, I think I've settled on later this afternoon. I want people to realize a couple things, other than the fact that I'm a little bit under the weather, and so hopefully I'll sound all right. One is that I resonate with some of the lyrics more than others. Um, some of the things that have transpired, well, depending on who we talk about, some of them are a long time ago, but even this one that I most have on my mind, some of it's been good things that have been happening amongst the challenges. Um, but I feel like if I sing this song, some people are going to say, how can you feel this? Doing what you're able to do, how can you have this wish? Like, be thankful. You know, we just had Thanksgiving after all. You know, we should always try and be thankful. And I am. I am thankful. Again, I didn't get to visit her in the hospital, but I'm actually kind of thankful for that too when I think about it. Um, I am still human. That's really what it is. And so it's kind of like I'm still, you know, and the biggest thing I can say is although I'm thankful for what I experience in this area, it's still especially hard because they're not in the physical. And all of us will know that when a loved one passes away, you know, we can't see them, we can't hold them, we can't whatever again until we see them again, perhaps. You know, well, I don't think perhaps, but um, although it's interesting because I have wondered if after I sang, there might be some people there, regulars or whatever, that might also know my friend, that might just happen to be there, and that could be interesting. I'm not even sure if I might get some hugs from strangers. You know, um, they're like just consoling each other. For what we've been through, and like I say, it's still hard, but I would say that I'm thankful for what I can do and for my gifts, because I know that other people that are going through this kind of stuff, even though they could be able to, um, they don't have that. Um, and so it must be so much harder for them. So I want to wrap this up, I think, unless you want to say something. Now's your opportunity. But yes, when you hear me do that song later, I just think it's a beautiful song. I just think that would be a fun one to sing, and hopefully I'll manage to do so all right. And then the other one, if I do another one, 'tis the season. Um, I don't know. One, because it's kind of a bar and grill kind of place, and two, because I just don't know if I want to sing one that is got a lot of religious tones to it. Uh, I mean, I know it's a Christmas song, but there are some that are really more just for all ages, regardless of belief. So I don't know which one I might sing that kind of goes with that. I'm really hoping to get the opportunity, and I'm glad that I've thought of a way I can do it with devices if need to. So and that I don't need the Wi-Fi. G was very nice, and I gave my phone, which is not on a network right now, that I really just use with Wi-Fi, and I gave that to him today to have, even though he could have borrowed the other one or something, and he gave me this one. So I can roll. I will roll, baby. And I'll try and address comments afterwards too. If you see that one, it'll be in about 5 or 6 hours. If you see that one, just because I know on the cell phone they might not show afterwards. So I will try and look at them before I wrap up, but I also will be focusing on my lunch and possibly the person I'm with. But that's not saying don't comment. Live or afterwards. Also perfectly fine. In some ways, it might be nice for the person I'm with to kind of hear some lovely comments that I might receive. So bring them, baby. So if you've missed most of this video, feel free to go back and watch it at your leisure as much as you can. Um, and all that stuff. I hope you will like and subscribe. And I hope it won't be awkward to you because we probably don't know each other. But there's a part of me that wants to say virtual hugs. Whether you're going through grief of a loved one or just a hard time. And to be honest, a lot of us are. These are all very human experiences, but it's better when we're not. And so there are things like, even though it's just virtual, a hug that might help. So yeah, I've had somebody here for a little while. Doesn't look like you're commenting. I don't know if likes are being wonky to submit, but I do thank you for being here. I'm going to do some other stuff, save my energy, because I don't know, part of me thinks utilizing my voice when I'm feeling this way, even if I'm getting a little bit congested, is keeping it active. But, I'll just, I'm home with the dog right now. I'll just say things to myself occasionally to reawaken it. And otherwise, I'm feeling not too bad that way. And I want to kind of keep it that way for the thing. So, see you in a few hours, folks, hopefully. Take care, and bye for now.